Thank you for joining CB1 Capital's 5 Questions video series. I am Josh Felker, analyst here at CB1 Capital. Today I'm joined by Nicholas Sosiak, CFO of Cannara Biotech. Cannara Biotech is a leading Canadian cannabis company, and from the data I've seen, now number 2 market share in the province of Quebec, their home province. Thanks for joining us today, Nick.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
So first question, I've been in a lot of facilities. Yours is probably one of the best designed and best operated that I've been in. But as somebody who's been in almost every Canadian cannabis facility, and every one was claimed to be, the best designed, overbuilt with the best SOPs, run by the best teams. I'm just wondering, considering all that hasn't translated to an end product that can build and maintain share, I'm just wondering, what's the secret sauce on the operational side that truly sets Cannara apart and allows you to produce, flavorful, really high quality flower?
So you're asking me to give you our secret sauce, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you know what? We don't mind because it's been 5 years in the making. It's an evolution, and it's honestly extremely hard to recreate. For us, the first thing is all about genetics. From day one to where we are today, we're continuously pheno hunting, searching for genetics. That's what propels innovation. That's what propels consumer wants in our sector. And we've even partnered up with Exotic Genetics, a 50-time award-winning breeder that helps us pheno hunt and select all these high-powered genetics. So number one for us is genetics. And then it's just the amount of diligence and hands-on experience that our management team, our CEO, who's the founder of the company, is also the master grower of the company. So he's hands-on every single day, building every single SOP from the ground up. And I'm the CFO, costing every product, designing all the product, and imagining all the products, right? So I don't think there's many, management teams out there that have that much hands-on onto the product, that much love and passion for the business and the product that we do have here at Cannara. And I think, that's what really differentiates us. We're not just growers. We care everything about the plant and all the way up to our brands and all the way to the end consumer. So that's really important for us. And then just our assets here being built in Quebec. We acquired the Green Organic Dutchman's facility, built over $250 million. We bought it for $27 million. So that amount of capacity that we have at that price that we purchased it, we can be very, very efficient in growing our business.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you mention, every part of your business being evolved beyond a standard operator, as somebody who has been in every facility in Canada, it was really eye-opening going through your facility and seeing that, your cultivation process, your post-harvest process, pretty much every process that you have really is a level evolved beyond what we see in pretty much every other operator. So, always good to lead from the front, sort of following, but it obviously shows in the end product. Just wondering, are you utilizing any third-party relationships? Do you have any forward plans to?
No, actually, right now we're totally vertically integrated. We just that mega facility that we bought, 1 million square feet, divided into 24 rooms, which is extremely important in cannabis cultivation. Our facility is unlike others where we have that controlled segmentation of our rooms. We've turned on 12 rooms so far. Turning on room 11 and 12 in this year, just this month and last month. So turning on a room is cost us about $1 million of investment inside the room, and we are able to turn on about 3.5 tons of cannabis cultivation out of that room, which represents over $10 million of revenue. So the payback period for us is less than a year. It just makes sense for us to continue expanding within our facility, and even to the point where we are not even looking at contract growth, depending on opportunities, but we're not looking at opening space for other producers or to sell B2B, because that's just going to defocus from the main goal for Cannara, which is produce Canadian products for the Canadian market. And there's just a lot of regulatory framework around that, and a lot of you have to get distribution, and you have to create the products and get them accepted. So there's a whole process that needs to be has to work like a Swiss clock in order to be successful in Canada. So that's really what our take of it. Our vision is really expanding internally and going from our 12 rooms, 45, 50 tons a year to our 100 tons a year once we're fully built out at 24 rooms.
Got it. Yeah, I think that ability to expand internally within your own footprint at minimal capex, outlay is pretty significant part of the thesis, and probably something that's eye-opening for most people, especially relative to the current Canadian cannabis marketplace where opportunity isn't plentiful. So I guess you touched on it there, but as investors, we do understand how important return on invested capital is to long-term sustainable returns. A hero of mine, Joel Greenblatt, based an entire career around just ROIC. So I've noticed you haven't really executed any M&A since you've come public. So would you mind just speaking to your investment strategy and maybe slotting out how you kind of line up those different baskets of capex, M&A, maybe share buybacks and dividends, and where those priorities lie today and maybe where they could advance to tomorrow?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So as I mentioned, priority for us is capex expansion, right? That's the number one strategy for us. We're going to continue investing inside our Valleyfield facility. As I stated, there's $1 million per room to build out. There's 12 rooms, so there's $12 million of capex. And in order to open up the 12 next rooms, we have to invest inside our processing center, which is about 200,000 square feet. So we have to build out all the post-harvest activities, the trimming activities. That's going to be about a $10 million investment. So between that and the 12 rooms, there's $22 million over the next 2 years that we're going to continue investing in the company, and that's going to grow our revenues to double of what we're making now. In terms of M&A opportunity, we're laser focused on Canada, laser focused on our brands. We're opportunistic in the point of we will look at opportunities and evaluate them, but they have to be really good opportunities, and the ROI needs to be very clear for us to be interested in any M&A opportunity. So we're thankful, and I think we're in a great position to not need M&A and really just continue investing the cash flow that we're churning from the business right back into the business to organically grow the business. And and I think there's going to be a serious inflection point inside our business that's we're going to start generating significant cash flow, and we've completed our capex plans, and then that point, cannabis is still extremely early, so dividends and share buybacks are all on the table, but we're also opportunistic, and when we'll evaluate different opportunities after we're done our Canadian project, expansion globally, expansion to the US, going into biotech side of our business in cannabis as we learn everything about the plant, and we've cultivated the plant hundreds and hundreds of thousands of times with hundreds of thousands of data results. We'll be in a strong position for the biotech side. So that's really the plan, Canada, and then evaluate all the other opportunities as we grow. And between then and there, definitely, the company will be cash flow positive and churning out return on investments for investors in the form of dividends, and if it makes more sense, share buybacks.
Got it. I appreciate the answer. I'm a consumer up here in Canada, and I've noticed that you have some of the more flavorful vapes in the market, and you also have some of the more flavorful flower in the market. I understand the way extracts are; it's pretty much quality in, quality out. So, any flavorful flower should produce a flavorful vape, but other companies in Canada have flavorful flower, but I don't think that necessarily translates to their vape. They're not really that flavorful, especially compared to Cannara. So I'm wondering, since you have the same processes as them, can you give me any idea the underlying factors that allow your success and your flavor within that segment, especially versus comps?
Absolutely. So, I mean, the number one thing is growing really good flower and terpene flower. So that's the priority, because you can't have bad flower and turn into magical good oil that consumers want. So yeah, I agree. We do have great terpene flower, and so do other producers. But then there's a significant post process after you grow the flower, right? The first thing is just fresh freezing flower. Not many growers have that control to grow the plant and then be able to chop it and not dry it and go into the freezer and store it in the freezer capacity, right? You would have to buy from a specific grower of that kind of material. So, just doing vapes from dry material versus fresh frozen material, there's a significant difference in the taste and the final product of the cartridge. Then it's the processing method. If you're doing ethanol or BHO or CO2, for us it's BHO, and we stand by BHO as being the highest quality process to retain the terpenes. And then it's the processing, the actual processing of the butane and the cannabis, and extracting all the oils and cannabinoid terpenes from the flower. We run the coldest in the country, so that's a little secret of ours, that we run cold, and if you run cold butane, you have much higher terp retention at the cost of yield. So we do have less yield, but we have a higher quality product. And then after that is the post-harvest process, post-processing process, where once you have the oil that's filled with butane, there's different ways to, remove 100% of the butane, with heat, and the goal is to not heat it up too much to evaporate the actual good terpenes that you want to retain in the cartridge. So we have a proprietary process around that we retain 100% of the terpenes. We remove 100% of the butane, and we come up with one of our highest quality live resin carts under our tribal brand.
Got it. Okay, so a few little bits of IP there that differentiate you. That's interesting to hear. Yeah, you're a mad scientist, Nick. You've released a lot of my favorite SKUs in Canada. I love that hash wrap, and for a $35 kind of one-use SKU, to be a continual buyer of that says a lot. So for last question, just interested in what product launches you're most proud of, maybe, or any product launches you're excited for in the future.
For sure, definitely have my hands in all the crazy products that we do. First one, one of our latest launches is the hash wrap. So that's under our Nugs brand, and it's a cigar-looking joint that's 100% made out of hash. So there's no paper, so the whole outer shell of it is made out of hash, and it's stuffed with flour. So it's a very potent experience, long-lasting experience. We're the first in market to have a product like that. And secondly, our trifecta under Tribal, that just recently launched in Quebec as well, and is doing extremely well. But the trifecta under Tribal, I think, is very unique. A lot of companies now are starting to do the diamond-coated joints and trying to take the market on that. But I think the trifecta has something extremely unique about it that's not recreatable, in the fact that the trifecta is made with the same genetics that we pheno-hunt under Tribal, and we have a roster of genetics that are all getting trifectas. But we're growing, because we're fully vertically integrated, we're growing a section of dried flower, drying the plant, utilizing that for flower inside the trifecta, and then another section where we're growing the same genetic and we're fresh freezing it. And then we're basically going through that butane process, making oil, and then using our proprietary process again to separate it into diamonds and terp sauce. And then what we do is we put the terp sauce of that same genetic. So it's not botanical terpenes or fake terpenes. It's all 100% of the same flower and the same genetic. The resin sauce goes inside the joint, and then the diamonds get coated on top. So it's a very, very unique experience, and really represents the full genetic. And it's a very quality experience. And it also shows that, that's the highest price point infused pre-roll in the market. So it shows that Tribal can actually, although we play, in the mid bracket for our regular 3.5s, certain products where we put all our things together and there's no competition, we can sell at the higher premium price points. So yeah, that's what's really interesting. And then coming this November, our vapes in Quebec. I've been working extremely hard on finding a formulation, given the regulations about limiting 30% THC in the vape cart. But that created a challenge for us to overcome and try to create an amazing tasting vape cart at 30% THC and 50-60% CBD, to give a really good experience for the Quebec customer. And we're excited to see that in November.
For sure. I appreciate the answers, Nick. Before we go, I know we spend a lot of time at our desks, and because podcasts may be a little too distracting, I like to ask for a music recommendation. Anything you're listening to right now?
You know what? I work. You're right about standing at your desk all day, and I actually work in the silence. My brain's just like going into work, but definitely every morning, getting pumped up. I got to put on Wiz Khalifa, "So High." Something about that song that just jives with the industry and jives with what I'm doing to seize the day. So definitely gets me pumped.
Oh, great choice. A good morning song. It's so essential. I guess I'll go with my recommendation. For the longest time, it was Octopus's Garden by the Beatles was my morning wake-up song, and getting at the house into the sun with that was a great way to start the day.
Absolutely.
Well, Nick, I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for the time. We'll talk soon, and you have a great weekend, okay?
Same here, Josh. Thank you.
Take care, bud.